Alright, in this video we're going to make the drawing of this lever bracket. So going from the part that is open, going File New, and clicking that, drop down to the metric, and we're going to do the ANSI.IDW drawing. Go Create. And then we can place a base model. I'm going to increase the size. We'll look at what 3:1 looks like. That's kind of big. Maybe 2. That looks reasonable. So I'm going to hit OK. We can replace this here. We're going to need a couple of other views, projected views. We're going to get a projected view here at a minimum, and then maybe one here as well. And then we can move over so we can get a isometric view. Left click again, then you need to right click and go Create. Then it will give you those views. Now it's a little confusing with these dotted lines because basically we're looking at this hole and this hole overlapping, looking from the side. And then in this view we're looking at this hole and this hole overlapping from this side. So it's a little confusing, but that's why I think it's important that we have both views. So going to the Annotate tab, I'm going to create some points, center points here, something that you always want to do on the circles. I'm going to create a center line from here to here, so left clicking, and then I need to right click and go Create. Do another center line from here to here, and then right click Create. And then we can give this angle, because it's an important dimension, and so 82 degrees. So make sure that that is visible and clear. The font again is a little small, so we're going to go to Manage Styles Editor and change the note text to something larger. Last drawing I did 8 millimeters and it looked reasonable. So we have that. Back to Annotate. We need to dimension all of these circles, both the larger and the smaller ones. The other things we need to do is give the distance between here and here. And so if I click the center here and click the center here, notice it's giving me a horizontal distance. I really need an aligned distance that's parallel to that line. So if I right click and go to Dimension Type and go to Align, it will give me the distance along that straight line. I also need to give the distance between here and here. 72. Now I don't want to just place that there, it's over the others, so I need to either move it out further or move it out a different direction. So it's clear to the reader what that dimension is. And again, you can always move these dimensions around by deselecting the dimension button by hitting Escape, and then you can grab any of these and move them around. You can move this like this and move this point like this and get them oriented the way that you would like, so they're clear for the reader. All right, once we have those dimensions from that view, there's still a number of things that we need to give. We need to give the thickness of the total part, and so that can either be given in this view or both. So we can go like from here to here, and we need the thickness of each of these. Okay, they are the same. Now I think we can, if depending on how you click, which ones you click first, you can get the numbers on the other side of that line, and so you can play around with that so the numbers are in the side that you would like. Now I realize people could infer that this is 16, but you should still give that dimension, because we could just take the 45 and subtract off 14.5 twice and you get 16, but you should be giving this dimension. Notice this dimension here is really just the diameter of that hole. You could put this in this here, but that is fairly redundant because the reader can see it from the other drawing. Other key things are these dimensions from here to here. And so we should give that in one of the two drawings. And so if it gets crowded on this drawing, we can move to this drawing. But we basically want this dimension here and this dimension here. Even though they're the same, I think it's useful to give that information. Looking at this, I think we have a sufficient amount of information. It appears that this wasn't really necessary to have, but if you don't want it there, you can remove it, but I think it doesn't hurt for the viewer to see that this hole here goes all the way through. So even though we have those dimensions, it's given. One other thing that what could have been is that this dimension here didn't necessarily have to match this dimension here. So it really doesn't hurt to give this total dimension here and the individual ones. Again, if you don't want that number on that side, you can click this side first, and then this, struggling here. Click this side first, and then click this side, and the number will be on the left. And if I click this side first, and then here, the number will be on the right. So basically, the number will be on the side that you click first. So you can get them on whatever side you'd like to give a clean drawing. Okay, this you can put down here. But again, all of this information is contained down here. But since this is a different, section or lobe of this lever, it doesn't hurt to include that. All right, given that, looks like we're good, so you can save the part and put it in the assignment.